So for those that don't know, Elite Sports Gaming is on the verge of being the biggest game to finally dethrone Madden. As well, shift many or everybody towards this game. Especially for the football community, ESG is going to bring a game-changing experience for the football simulation community and probably the only other football option to play for a while. I can guarantee that. As of right now, the game is currently up for a pre-order and beta testing signups for Xbox One and PS5 users. For those that are living under a rock and have no idea about this game, well, it's a game co-founded by two professional gamers. Gamers that have been a part of the competitive scene with Madden, and no, they wasn't any two bums playing it. They were elite and top players. So they know all about Madden's competitive scene as well with how the gameplay has been. But aside from that, they decided to team up and work along some great ex and current NFL players to make this game possible. To name a few are running back LaShawn Shady McCoy, wide receiver David Tyree, linebacker Sean Merriman, defensive end Cameron Jordan, and many more. From LaShawn McCoy assisting with ESG and partnerships, as well from all these present and former athletes that contribute in capturing quality animations with AAA motion capture technology in their respective position areas, will help guarantee a quality, smooth, realistic, and a exciting gameplay experience. As well, they are bringing something that the football community has never seen before, a open world city experience that's similar to what NBA 2K has done with their game, but for the football community, and that's called the Heights, where you can do numerous things with your friends or randoms in an open immersive world. The game will be free and not heavy on pay to win aspect with microtransactions. Yes, because it's free, it will still have microtransactions, but it's not for what we are typically used to seeing, like how it's used with Madden's Ultimate Team, which is pay to build aspect, or NBA 2K, where it's build to upgrade your player method. They are taking the same approach like what Fortnite has done and keep it focused on the cosmetics only, which is the gear of how your player looks, which doesn't have any effect on how your player performs. There is no boost or anything of that sort. As for upgrading your player is earned through grinding and playing the game. So once again, this game is not going to be a pay to win, pay to build aspect. This game is focused on the online multiplayer experience with 11 on 11 and 7 vs 7. Yeah, that's right, people. If you want to be a lineman or a kicker, they will have those position options for you to create your player as. The create a player aspect is very similar of a style to what 2K has to offer with the archetype build and things of that sort. And I like that they are taking 2K's concept and implementing it for football for your player, because this is a great way to also notify of what your opponent is looking like for a matchup opportunity. Now, for those that don't know, ESG has a stream application, which is for the stream team, which I'm unsure if it's closed or still able to be applied for, but I recently applied because I do want to work alongside with ESG, and because of that, today I was very fortunate enough to have an interview with one of the developers, which I feel that I was unprepared for because I didn't really have questions prepared and I kind of went off the dome of my head, but he was able to fill me in on a ton of information about the game, goals for the game, plans, details behind the making of the game, and of course the questions that I asked during the interview. But basically the stream team is to help promote and give feedback to the community kind of as a social outlet for ESG in a way, and then for doing so you do get paid out by them. So now if you guys don't believe me that I was actually in an interview with the developer, here is the audio clips from the session. Is your guys' system going to be kind of like similar like that for matchmaking?
Well, yeah. So in terms of that, yeah, when people are able to,
You guys are going to really be taking off with this game once you guys release it for sure.
nice. We definitely hope so. Lots of work has been going into this.
Are you guys going to manage the microtransaction aspect? Are you guys going to cater more to the cosmetics?
Yeah, so it's actually in terms of a combination of like both. So in terms of the cosmetics, you can think of how it is with like Fortnite. With that, no matter what type of outfit you choose, it doesn't affect your character
Now, of course, I'm gonna pretty much break down everything that we had discussed during the interview, as well as their plans and much more about ESG. Now, before we get into it, the developer that I've spoken to and his team is very aware of my channel. So they will be looking at the comments to see what you guys have questions about, as well look into what you guys would want to have in their game. Anyways, I asked about the leaderboard system. Will it be focused more on a win-loss ratio or on how many total games have been played that makes your rank matter? Like how in Madden, no matter if you're ranked high with a record of like 233 wins and you have like 300 losses, you're going negative basically, and you're on a 7 game losing streak, but yet you're not losing rank or dropping down in rank. You only ranked up high because how much games you have played and if you played more games before others. So that was my example to him, and he said yes. They're gunning for the aspect of having wins matter over losses, and of course, matching someone to your skill style. But it won't probably be at the release build of the game. But they are also trying to implement unique ways on the leaderboard system as well. The other question that I asked about is how is the 11 versus 11 and 7 versus 7 going to work with the my player positions? He said, so it's basically like NBA 2K Pro Am, where you can load in with randoms or friends as a team or squad up, and you're able to play your current position that you built your player as. Now, the greatest thing that he pointed out with, based off this and the skill matching and the skill gap and overall matchup deal, was that he gave me this example. Even though you can be like a 93 overall receiver and you're facing an 83 cornerback, doesn't mean as a cornerback you're unable to do anything in comparison of what happens in 2K. Like if you're facing a 97 overall center and you're an 86 center, you can't do anything. You're unable to do post moves, etc. In ESG, you're still able to do things based off your user skills. He gives an example of if you're in a position to bat the ball from the receiver catching it, you're able to do so. It's not gonna magically go in favor of the receiver making the catch like Madden. So like in Madden, you can just hold an aggressive catch or whatever catch option and you can get a catch no matter the overall or how you're positioned. So that was really a shocking thing to hear about ESG and what they're doing with that aspect. And then especially knowing that you're able to still compete and not feel hopeless. But he also adds to it saying that it's simulation focused and of course the ratings will give you the higher chance based on if you have a higher catch rating, you're able to catch and hang on to the ball, and if you have higher speed, of course, you're going to be able to be faster against someone who is actually slower. Now, he also goes on to say, in which I thought was the best thing for matchmaking, is that you will have lobbies where it's catered to just 60 overalls or 80 overalls or 90 overalls playing with just their overall ratings within that category and so forth. As well, free for all lobbies where you can play with any overall. So this was music to my ears. So let's say, I'm like a 75 overall. I just want to compete within players within my vicinity of the overall, right? You can do so because they will have those lobbies set up for those specific players to be within your range. Or if I think I'm really good user wise and I can care less about my overall and I want to just take on anybody, then they will have lobbies where it's free for all and you can match up with any overall there is. And I think this is the greatest thing for people that are competitive or just casual players. I mean, this is a big game changer when it comes to playing with players similar to you or not. I then asked about the physics part when it comes to collisions like a comparison to backbreaker. He said that there isn't to a degree due to the fact of the complication issues that can occur with the physics. So then I asked, so with not much of that being done, does that mean that the animations will be like Madden for outcomes as in snapping from one to another unrealistically no matter the momentum or position of that player that occurs? And he says no. What they done is captured countless of animations kind of like what 2K has done. So, like in 2K, they can capture a jumper, but it's different from person to person based off likeness because of their real life animation. But they can also have that same default shot being motion captured, and it can be, captured slightly different based off the situational approach to doing so. So he gives me an example on like tackling from the side. He makes them motion capture numerous times just from tackling from the side, so you don't see the same animation over and over. This was basically a replacement method for people that enjoy the physics outcomes when it comes to collision. So they don't really have a collision, I guess, mechanic for the game like physics base, but they have tons of animations that can have amazing realistic outcomes and smooth outcomes. So when it transitions from animation to animation, you're not going to see things like what happens in Madden where you have unrealistic, suctioning, morphing, or snapping of animations from one to another. Then he goes on to say that the animations are motion captured by NFL player athletes, so you're getting pretty amazing, fluid, smooth, and epic animations in every aspect. Once he said this, I got sold on that we are basically getting a 2K version sim style football game from them, but also keeping the fun arcade aspect with the heights, city atmosphere. Now, another question that I asked was something detailed, especially for the defensive point of view. So I kind of gave them an example in comparison to what Madden has, is where people can just use middle linebacker, run around freely, and make plays, even not being able to look at the ball, like their character does not look back at the ball. And I asked him, will this be a thing in ESG where your player will physically look at the ball in order for you to make a correct, reaction and make a play? I also gave him another example, like during the PS2 versions of Madden, you can hold turbo and you're running at full stride, right? So of course your character is going to be looking forward, but when you let off the turbo, your player will actually look back and try to locate where the ball is at to make a play. He then goes to say those are things that they do want to add, but at the same time, they are not as big in budget wise, like in comparison to EA and 2K, to do a lot of things that they do want to do, and of course, that they know that the fans do want implemented in their game. Of course, with the support and growth over time, then they will be able to add and do things like that. But eventually, he said they will implement these things brought by the community over time with their game. Now, also, he goes on and says that football isn't the only genre that they want to get into and develop. They are wanting and looking into developing hockey, tennis, and much more as well, which is massive. I mean, can you imagine if they done this concept idea with hockey, or if they implement all these things into this game? That would be truly epic. They can have an all-in-one sports game, and you can make various builds for different type of sports that you want to play, and go and play this concept style that they have right now for ESG, and play other sports while in this game. That'd be so epic. But anyways, guys, that was the major questions that I could think of off of my dome at the time. I wish I came prepared with more questions about this game, but he pretty much answered majority of it during his introduction of the plans and things that sort for this game. As well, he gave a little bit of a backstory, which I don't want to get into. It's kind of private, but it's really interesting how they went about to form and develop this game. So once again, you guys right now need to head over to the website, start pre-ordering, sign up for the beta so you guys can get your hands-on experience, because once this game drops, this is going to be a massive game-changing experience, another option for us football fans to have another football game to play and actually have fun. And I mean, it's simulation built. This is the main focus that they're focusing on, is having that simulation aspect when it comes to the gameplay, but have the arcade factor with the heights. So the support needs to be heavy right now. We need everybody to jump on this wave for ESG and start supporting this game very heavily because we are closer than what we expected this game to be at. We really thought that this game wasn't ever going to come out. And yet, here we are closing in on the release. I mean, guys, this is a game changer, man. So hopefully I get picked for the stream team as well, be picked for beta testing, and of course I do have boundaries with ESG. I'm kind of limited on what I'm able to talk about, discuss, and of course can't really show anything unless told to. So, without further ado, please comment your thoughts down below. Everything from what you guys want in the game, possibly, or asking questions, because once again, the developer and his team does take a look at my channel as well as the comments they want to see, community responses down below. But overall, like I said, you guys have to start supporting this game because we're done with Madden, man. If you're not done with Madden, then what are you doing? Elite Sports Gaming has my full support. I like the direction that they're going with this game. I mean, they're delivering everything I do want in a football game experience. And, the fact that they're taking concept and ideas from 2K and, combining with their own unique ways of how they're going about developing this game is complete mind blowing, and it's a game changer. And it's something that we knew that's different and unique for the football atmosphere, for the football community. We need a change, and this game is definitely going to deliver that. Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed today's update video. Hope you guys got a lot of questions answered from my interview with the developer for ESG. Once again, comment your thoughts down below, questions, and much more. Until next time, I'll see you guys later with more. I'm out. Peace.